Welcome everyone to the September 12th, 2022 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would you please stand and join me in reciting the pledge? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Barb Lewis, President of the Board. To my right is our Vice President, Jeff Benton. To my left, fellow Commissioner Gary Merrill, and our Deputy Administrator, Don Houston, and our Administrator is slipping in,
Making
Tracy
a dramatic
Davies.
appearance.
And a miraculous appearance. And our clerks, Jennifer Walraven and Sarah DeNovo. We can begin.
Resolution number 22-777, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held September 8th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 22-777. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment today. That brings us to item number 3, resolution number 22-778, in the matter of approving purchase orders and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM APR 0909.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 22-778. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-779, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 22-779. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Item number 5, we are going to remove from today's session. We'll see that later on in the month. And that brings us to item number 6, with a chairman of the Rutherford B. Hayes Heritage Committee.
Welcome, Bill.
Thank you, Barb. Appreciate the opportunity to speak to you this morning on the event coming up on October 4th, the Rutherford B. Hayes Day here in the county and the community of Delaware. The event will be presented by the Rutherford B. Hayes Heritage Committee, which was started in 2016, really took off in about 2018 when we finally put down a mission statement. And that mission statement states, a project to bring appropriate recognition to and educate the community about the 19th President of the United States and Delaware's native son, Rutherford B. Hayes. The recognition component was concluded in 2019 with the help of the County of Delaware, the City of Delaware, and its businesses and citizens in erecting the statue on the corner of William and Sandusky Street, upgrading the signage at the birthplace, 17 East William Street, and then we've done some things at the high school in the rotunda. If you get a chance to walk into the rotunda or the main entrance of the high school, a 3-foot granite pedestal with the bust of Hayes, and then his elected offices and his military service on a plaque in front, and then a graphic artist did some quotes of Hayes in relation to education right there in the rotunda. So the students, as they walk through that hallway, they see that every day. The event, as I said, will be presented by the committee, consists of 15 volunteers. 2 of the volunteers with me this morning, Susan Wells and Brent Carson. And again, I stress, the volunteer side of it. We've been putting a lot of effort into the planning and the organization of not just the statue and what we did in 2019, but also to advance the information and the knowledge that we have gained about Rutherford B. Hayes and get that out to the community. Just a fact that Brent always spouts off. If you know Brent, he's a wealth of information, and I stick close to him because I listen to all the stuff that he has. Delaware is only one of 44 communities that can boast that a native son went on to be elected President of the United States. So it's a very small fraternity, so to speak, of communities. And so we are pushing the education component because as the county has grown, as you guys face every every day and every meeting. We get a lot of educators in the area that don't know a lot about Rutherford B. Hayes, so we are getting into the schools. We're crawling before we walk, and then we'll be running. But the Rutherford B. Hayes Day is recognized by the Delaware City Schools, and then we'll reach out to the county schools as we get our feet on the ground. So we are kicking off with the first annual Rutherford B. Hayes Day, and I know next Monday you guys are going to proclaim October 4th, Rutherford B. Hayes Day in the county. The City Council is going to approve a proclamation recognizing October 4th as Rutherford B. Hayes Day in the city of Delaware, and Senator Brenner and Senator Reineke. Senator Reineke represents the Fremont area in the state of Ohio, in the Ohio Senate. The Ohio legislature, it's passed through committee. We presented back in May. When they come back from recess, they will be voting on recognizing October 4th as Rutherford B. Hayes Day in Ohio.
All right.
I think we've touched all the bases with our government entities to get proper recognition for Rutherford. These for you.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
Oh, boy, good.
Oh, that's great.
What you're looking at is a poster. It's not a poster, obviously, but this is the posters that were put up around town last Wednesday, and it states that we've got an event coming up on October 4th. It is presented by Greif. There's 3 elements, and I think, Jeff, you're going to be involved at the 8:30 segment, speaking on behalf of the commissioners. A tribute ceremony at 8:30 down at the statue, in the plaza behind the statue. We'll have a number of dignitaries, local dignitaries, along with the Paraguayan ambassador to the United States, who will be coming to Delaware on Monday the 3rd. School program will be going on in the Delaware City Schools. It may not be that day, but over the course of that week and leading up to October 4th, we've got elementary, middle school, and high school oriented lessons that teachers can use. We can't force them, but we're hoping if we provide it, they'll use it. And then at 12 o'clock, Ohio Wesleyan is going to be involved in Hayes Day, and at Merrick Hall, it starts at 12:10. They will be hosting a Hayes Day program, room 301, that's the top floor of Merrick. The speaker there will be the ambassador from Paraguay, and I keep saying that because it's kind of cool that we get somebody from Paraguay to come to Delaware, but that's where you learn why that person will be speaking here in Delaware. And then 6 o'clock is a dinner and a program. The dinner, we are charging a fee. Those monies from the ticket sales will be used to establish the Rutherford B. Hayes Scholarship to a deserving Hayes graduate. It could be multiple graduates, depending on how much we raise. But that will be our legacy, or the legacy we're creating on behalf of our native son, Rutherford B. Hayes. The program, and this is the first time I'm saying it publicly, we as a committee at our meeting last Thursday, if our goal is to educate the community, we may be limiting the number of people that could attend based on that cost. So the dinner is still going to cost, and that money is going to go to the scholarship fund, but the program is going to be free to the public, just like the first 2 items are. The one at the statue and one in Merrick is free, but the program will start at 7 p.m. and we'll open it up there in the auditorium. We'd like to see the auditorium filled instead of just the people that were purchasing a ticket. So we're kind of excited about that, and I speak with the local press at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and they'll get that out, and we'll put it on our Facebook page and our website. But looking at the program, and I know it doesn't help the people behind me, but there are 2 barcodes there, QR codes, I'm sorry. And the first one, if you want to know a lot about Hayes and Lucy, another Delaware resident, not born here, but her family moved here when she was 13 years old. You can scan that first QR code. The second one is the online ticket sale. The community was very supportive in 2019, as I said, to get the proper recognition, raising those funds. And they've been very supportive again. As you can see there's a number of sponsors and people that are supporting the effort. So if there are any questions I can answer, I'd be happy to. If not, I'll look forward to seeing you guys next Monday at the fairgrounds, because I think you guys have some business that you're going to take care of for us.
All right. Certainly been busy. The committee has been very, very busy. I noticed that Donna Myers came in too, so welcome, Donna. Part of the team. Thank you. No, really appreciate your coming in, and it's going to be a very exciting day. I look forward to it.
We are too. It's a long time
I
coming.
bet.
COVID kind of
After
put us.
all the work.
Yeah, COVID put us behind the 8 ball, obviously. We couldn't, organize gatherings, but then when the bicentennial, we knew the bicentennial was 2022, and said,
Yeah.
let's kick it off on the bicentennial, so.
Yeah, the only comment I have is, I'm always glad to hear we're talking about the history of this great country, and this is part of our history. I think that's getting lost in some areas today, and so I think it's fantastic, and I'm just glad to see we're doing that. And unfortunately, I will be out of town the day of this. I will write a check for $100 for the scholarship fund, however, so
Well,
I'll
thank you
get
very
that to
much,
you.
Gary.
Okay.
I will say this, we are taping the program, and I know you're going to want to watch it because we've got a special guest appearance, so to
Well,
speak. But
now I'm intrigued. I'll definitely have to see who
yeah,
that is.
we'll post that on our website. Oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. Oh well.
Well, let me ask, is there anyone else on the committee who would like to add anything?
I will, having Donna walk in reminded me, I forgot to say, we were kind of, we weren't lost. We were a committee that formed, and we didn't do a 501c3. We felt, hey, we want to, get the project done. Donna, who's the executive director of the Delaware County Historical Society, we are now under the Delaware County Historical Society. We are sponsored by them. We're a committee within the Delaware County Historical
Okay.
Society. So donations are
Great.
going to a 501c3. They handle all our funds. Prior to this, the county foundation was doing that for us, but it's a little easier to get checks paid through the Historical Society, so, or to our vendors, that is. But,
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
No, that's important.
Yep.
Charitable donations.
Yeah, a couple things. I think it's interesting that the ambassador from Paraguay will be there. He was here a couple years ago when we did the dedication of the
Correct.
statue, and I had a chance to meet him then. And fascinating story, that Paraguay considers Rutherford B. Hayes a real icon and a real important citizen in their important figure in their history because he settled a border dispute, as I understand it, in Paraguay's favor. And so they've had streets and parks and everything named after Rutherford B. Hayes, which is really neat.
well, we have the honor to welcome a new ambassador.
Oh, it's not the same gentleman?
No, it's a new, I shouldn't say it isn't. They have a new ambassador to the U.S., and so he's coming to Delaware for the first time. But part of his team, Hugo and Victor, they're returnees, but we're anxious to show him off the various parts of our county.
Great.
Next week when he's here.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you mentioned the 44 communities that can say they have a native son who became president. We almost had a second one. So we would have been one of one if we had, if Frank V. Willis hadn't passed away during the campaign.
Correct,
So
correct, absolutely correct.
He, obviously, we don't know that he would have won, but he had a
Right.
good chance.
Gary, I know what my thought was, or that left my brain. Every year, we're focusing on a different element of Hayes' life. That's part of our education project. We couldn't possibly do it in one evening without diluting it and just making it a,
Right.
Reader's Digest version. So we've narrowed in on 3 elements. Obviously, with the bicentennial, his boyhood days here in Delaware, and I think Brent is going to be that person. I think he knows a little bit about Delaware County and the citizens.
He knows a lot about Delaware.
Yes, he does, I know. And then we're going to look at his years in Cincinnati as a defense attorney, that probably many people don't know, realize what he was doing down there prior to the Civil War. And then the election of 1876, which came into the limelight again in 2020 with the presidential election. And then the Compromise of 1877, which is a result of the election of 1876. So we're just going to touch on those three things because we thought, let's try to get it all in there, but we don't do it justice. So every year will be a different element of Hayes's life and what was going on in the country and as well as here in Ohio.
Great. Thank you so much, Bill.
Thank you for your time.
Really appreciate your coming in and having the steadfast volunteers here, too.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Item number 7, resolution number 22-780, in the matter of approving the Delaware County Board of Commissioners' letter of support regarding the formation of the Columbus Region Economic Development District.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Tracy Davies, County Administrator. Just following up on MORPC's presentation a few weeks ago, they have requested we provide a letter of support for the formation of the Columbus Region Economic Development District. The designation will help MORPC continue to implement its recently approved comprehensive economic development strategy and hopefully get some assistance in doing so.
Great. Thank you. Vote.
Vote on motion 22-780. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
That brings us to administrator reports.
The only other thing to add is just that we have our Transportation Improvement District meeting this Wednesday at 9:30, right here in this room.
And I just have one item to report. I attended the Corsa annual meeting last Friday, and it's their 35th anniversary. Delaware County joined with them back in 2004. So this is our 18th year with Corsa. And we also made their annual report with a photo of the new Ag Center at the fairgrounds. Thanks to Marissa for taking that photo. It is included in their annual report this year. So that's all I have.
Okay. Commissioner Merrill.
And it was an excellent photo, I might add. And I remember calling her one afternoon. I think you were on your way home, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
And she dutifully got out the next morning and got it to them, and it looked great. And thank you. I'll thank you as well. And I also want to thank Don for representing us at Corsa. I had another event I attended with my fellow commissioners that day. It was the groundbreaking for Intel, and it was the longest groundbreaking I've ever been to. And the first with an intermission. So it was, but having said that, it was an impressive day. A little humor, I think it's appropriate. If I'm out of line, I'll apologize in advance. During the early speakers, they had this heavy equipment in the background. I thought, well, somebody didn't communicate very clearly. But I think, I've never confirmed this, I'm guessing that was part of the, let's say, the wallpaper behind the scenes. And those, basically, they were working behind there all day, kind of, I think, for impact purposes. But it was a very interesting day. We're lucky to have Intel and all the jobs it's going to bring to our area, and suppliers as well. And my compliments to everybody who was involved in putting that together. And I think, speaking on behalf of the other commissioners, we all appreciated being included in that event. The only other thing is the horse parade yesterday. In fact, I saw somebody in our room here. Brent was there, and I waved at him, and he waved at me. And as always, it's a great event for our city and our county, and always look forward to that. And so it was another great event yesterday, and no rain.
Yes, that was pretty iffy.
And that's all I have.
Commissioner Benton.
Really not a whole lot else. We've got a DKMM policy and regular meeting tomorrow, and I've got a JEDI CCAO committee call on Wednesday. Other than that, the Intel groundbreaking was memorable. We were sitting out in the sun for a couple hours, so it was kind of warm. And but very, very well attended, 700 people.
Yes.
I think 800-900 people, they said, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
yeah.
I didn't realize it was that much.
And security was, very tight and very, very well done. It was, again, it was very well done for a long ceremony. But,
Yep.
yeah, it is going to be great, so neat to see. And congratulations to the leadership of the state of Ohio for
Yes.
their hard work and landing this very, very important project for all of Central Ohio.
Yes, I mean, it was a day that will go down in history, I'm sure. I mean, it's the largest ever economic development project in Ohio. So it was great to be there. It was hot, very, very hot. Sun was a beautiful day though, and boy, that sun was shining. We did take a break in the middle, fortunately, so the one big tent was air conditioned, although
It was a huge tent.
it was a
And
huge
it was cool.
tent, and right.
Groundbreaking with intermission.
Yeah.
Never seen one of those before.
Yes. And just reminder, yesterday, very sad day, the anniversary of September 11th. And we will never forget. We will never forget. And, okay.
We
We
do,
do have executive session.
yes. Resolution number 22-781, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of compensation of a public employee or public official for collective bargaining and for pending or imminent litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-781. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We're now recessed into executive.